A new challenge came up and I had to take full advantage of it.
A full day on the road, 15 hours of driving in a single day with the Bigster Hybrid. That means the topic about a tailgate stopper needs to be postponed for one more week. The original destination is Alexandria, which normally means around 11 hours of driving for the full round trip. While preparing this episode, I had the chance to make a small detour from Alexandria to Bucharest to give someone a ride.
That opportunity gave me the idea to turn the whole day into an endurance test for the Bigster.
A full day of driving without touching a single kilometer of highway. I estimated the extended trip would take around 13 hours in one day plus breaks.
On the way there I had a passenger. On the way back I was alone. My wife wasn't part of the trip, which is why I allowed myself to attempt this endurance test.
At around 7:30 am, the temperature was 6 degrees Celsius. Tire pressure was 2.3 bar both front and rear. The weather was mostly cloudy, with a high chance of rain during most of the route. The elevation change was no more than 400 meters, with the highest point around 700 meters. I would drive through that section both ways. The rest of the route was roughly straight roads. Since it was Sunday morning, traffic was very light, so I expected to make good progress in the first part of the day. In the flat regions, there are many villages one after another, which keeps the average speed low. I also passed through a few medium-sized towns, and for the larger ones, I used the bypass roads to avoid city traffic. On the return trip, the first part was flat, but the second part went through more hilly areas with small climbs and descents. Every 2 or 3 hours, I took short breaks between 10 and 30 minutes. Even though I could eat while driving, I prefer stopping to eat calmly. It helps reduce fatigue and it gives me a chance to stretch my legs. On such a long trip, you really need it. Alexandria is one of the few Romanian cities that was intentionally built from scratch, and it was founded in 1834. It didn't grow naturally around a fortress or a medieval market square like many other Romanian cities. It was intentionally created by people coming from the Danube area who wanted a new administrative center. It's smaller than Alba Iulia, and you can feel that in the relaxed traffic. No long queues, no waiting to the same traffic light 2 or 3 times. So after a short tour of the destination city and 30 minutes break for the lunchtime, the journey continued toward Bucharest.
Since I don't drive on the highway during the entire trip, the cabin noise remains low throughout the entire route.
The engine is also barely noticeable, and that's because during longer drives, the battery charges naturally and steadily.
That means the engine does not need to extra work just to maintain the battery level or the operating temperature. So from this point of view and from my point of view, the Bigster cabin feels pleasant and relatively quiet.
As indirect confirmation, even though my wife was not with me on this trip, since we bought this car, she tends to fall asleep more often during our journeys than she did in our previous cars. She often says this car makes her sleepy faster, which probably says something about overall cabin comfort.
Regarding the driver space, I believe this is something each person needs to experience personally, directly during a test drive. Because comfort also depends on body shape and personal preferences. For me, the available space is sufficient.
At 1.83 meters tall, I do not feel the need for more room, although if it were more spacious, I certainly would not complain. Legroom also feels acceptable, mainly because I'm already used to cars with a high central console. However, for someone coming from cars with a lower console, this could initially feel restrictive and may require some adaptation. Around the right knee area, the surface is covered with soft material, the same type used on the door armrest. That makes it comfortable when resting the leg there during longer drives.
One thing I do not particularly like is the height difference between the door armrest and the central console. It feels awkward, so I usually avoid using both of them in the same time. I naturally rest either one hand on the upper side of the door or the other one on the central console.
Another small inconvenience is that the seat belt buckle is harder to reach quickly because of the high central console. It is not a major issue, but when getting into the car, fastening the seat belt sometimes requires more effort than actually necessary.
The steering wheel feels very pleasant to the touch, and I personally like its non-perfectly rounded shape. Visually and in hand, it feels modern.
In practice, during sharper steering movements, it sometimes forces me to adjust leg position more than I would with a fully round wheel. But also in this case, nothing major, just a small observation.
The car seats are not the most comfortable on the market, but from my point of view they are comparable with normal seats found in cars such the older generations of the Skoda Octavia or Opel Astra, cars I previously owned.
At least that has been my impression from the moment I bought the car up to this endurance test. The difference here is that the sitting position can be adjusted higher, allowing better support under the thighs, which improves comfort noticeably. That is generally one of the advantages of SUVs.
What I do not particularly like is the seat material. I mean, I like how it looks and how it feels, but similar to leather or synthetic leather or Alcantara seats without the ventilation, these seats can cause noticeable sweating. I experienced this even in the winter. I do not even want to imagine how it feels during summer. So I'm already thinking about finding a practical solution for that.
Up to about 5 or 6 hours of driving, the seats remain comfortable and fatigue stays low. I do not experience back pain during that period. The lumbar adjustment helps a lot and adds meaningful comfort.
So after 7 or 8 hours, I don't feel any back pain, but my left foot is actually quite tired because I haven't used at all the adaptive active control. I need to learn that. It's something I have on the car, but I need to get used to it.
When I was in my 20s, I lived in Italy for 9 years and often drove between Romania and Italy. Back then I preferred driving mostly at night. I would leave in the evening and after around 13 hours of driving, arrive the next morning. At that age I handled fatigue much more easily. So from the beginning I was convinced this endurance test would challenge me as well.
I am now about 10 hours of driving in, and the first signs of fatigue are making themselves known through a subtle pressure around my shoulders. Actually, this is the second sign, because the first one was the right foot, which got a bit tired earlier since I didn't use the cruise control. So I'm going to have a break now and grab some of that black liquid, which gives you a bit of energy, because I've still got about another 5 hours of driving and it's going to get dark soon. I literally ended my endurance test today. So after 15 hours and 800 kilometers here. So that was the endurance test today. This is a moment I need to capture because it is actually changing my original script. And that is because I actually didn't expect the Bigster to behave that well. What I mean, in my original script, I actually thought that the comfort of the seats and the car in general would last probably about, I don't know, 13 hours or something like that. So after that, with a lot of back pain and very tired, I was looking forward to lay out in bed. But that is actually not the case. So after 15 hours of driving only on national roads, so it's 800 kilometers, 807 kilometers, and about 4.78
liters per 100 kilometers at the pump, I mean, this car is amazing, at least for me. Now, don't take my word for granted, because I might be impacted by the fact that I really love driving. So that is true. And also, I'm kind of a weirdo because I like driving in bad conditions, and I had those today, which was most of the day raining, and especially now during the night as well. So maybe those could be as well. But really, beside my right foot, which I had a little bit of pain at some point, but then I started to use the active cruise control and I got it rested. The only thing I feel, it's a little bit of pressure behind my neck here, so on my shoulders, and that's it. But it's quite actually slight. It's light. It's not something which is, I mean, compared to my previous cars, this performed actually amazing. So I really wanted to capture this moment, because, I mean, I'm like a little boy which just received his toys, and I'm very happy about it, because, yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect car, and I don't want to talk right now about the highway because that might be a pain point. I just want to enjoy this moment, and I mean, this is amazing. Good job, big boy. This is the next day, after all that excitement passed and after a good night of sleeping. So, is the Bigster a comfortable car? I think the answer depends on many factors. Age, height, comfort expectation, physical condition, the purpose of the trip, and probably many others. As long as you don't expect premium comfort, I think it performs very well. After all, this car remained positioned in the affordable segment, and that should always remain part of the perspective. In the end, even though such an endurance test is difficult during the normal tests, I believe each person should do a personal test drive, because comfort perception differ from one person to another. What I say here will not necessarily apply to everyone watching. What is worth mentioning is that the person I gave a ride on the way to Bucharest is usually sensitive during long car journeys. During those 8 hours towards Bucharest from yesterday, this person repeatedly mentioned that the car felt very comfortable and did not create the same discomfort experienced by other cars. From my point of view, the Bigster is comfortable for my own needs. I now realize I can drive for 10 hours without difficulty on national roads and crossing towns and villages on the way. Yesterday, after 15 hours, I honestly feel that after a 10 or 15 minutes break, I could probably have continued driving for several other hours before feeling actually truly exhausted, like in my previous cars. Before this trip, in my original script, I intended to say I was not in a hurry to repeat this experience, because I was almost certain I would feel destroyed after so many hours of driving. But honestly, yesterday completely changed that impression. Now I actually want to repeat it, and I'm looking forward in doing it. More than that, I'm thinking in bringing my wife with me next time. That way, even she sleeps through part of the trip, she may confirm, or perhaps not, whether after 10 or 15 hours of driving, the car still remains comfortable and fatigue stays manageable, or at least confirm whether she sleeps well and comfortable. I still have not properly tested long motorways distances, at least not more than 1 or 2 hours, but that will happen in the coming episodes. This experience really made me want even more to move toward full-time driving, so I can advance the project faster. If nothing unexpected comes up, next week we may finally return to the tailgate stopper and see how I manage to fix it. For that, I will drive to Arad, the third county capital on my list. Thank you all for the support, comments, suggestions, and questions in the comments. And a special thank you to Alexandru, the first person who joined the YouTube membership program, even before I completed the configuration and I officially introduced it. More details on that on a post on my page tomorrow. Together we can build something unique and genuinely useful over time.